What do we know about this, huh? What do we know about this? I need you to pretend that I'm holding the copy right now because I don't get mine for a couple hours. Red, White, and Royal Blue. I don't think I have read a contemporary romance in ever? Is it ever? I don't count 50 Shades of Grey because I'm hard pressed to call that romance. You know what I'm saying? But when I was on the Prime Video for the other day for The Summer I Turned Pretty, watching that over on the Patreon, I saw Red, White, and Royal Blue pop up and I went, I'm pretty sure that's a book. And get this, it is. And I am beyond excited to read this for the book to movie adaptation series here on YouTube. But as always, I have no idea what it's about, which is always the most fun part of this, seeing where I'm going to be wrong. We have just started, and I could not be more stoked. Everybody is over the age of 18. Everybody. Do you have any idea how tired I get of telling people to not date children? You would be astounded to find out how many times it happens in these books. You don't need that 16-year-old. I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. There are plenty of people your age, okay? Find one. So tell me why I thought this was going to be YA. I know that I just told you that everybody is over the age of 18. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that prior to picking up the book, I saw a couple of marketing materials that I thought would lean this story towards being like a very, very bright and fun and bubbly story, which in my head I associate with YA. So imagine my surprise when they start talking about bleaching whole. Yeah, you heard that right. I put those two words together. I said bleaching whole. I don't know how else to word that. I don't know how good AI is getting. If I say the actual thing that they're talking about, I'm going to end up getting demonetized. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, good luck figuring it out without Googling it. Definitely do not suggest that. I think it just puts me on edge a little bit though, because I stumbled into 50 Shades of Grey. Didn't fully know what I was getting myself into then. Is this another that is what I'm asking you? Oh, the PTSD is coming back. Or maybe it doesn't matter. You know, I don't think that it will matter. I think that they're just trying to set the tone that this is not a book for teenagers, which was a little confusing when I looked it up online and saw that the cover was pink. It's enemies to lovers. I did not expect that. I thought that this was going to be like a lovers to lovers, more traditional romance kind of between two men, which is beautiful. But I couldn't pinpoint exactly what the story was about earlier on because you've got this guy, Alex. Alex is the son of the president of the United States, who's a woman, also wonderful. Alex keeps talking about this guy, Henry, who he's got to see. Henry is the brother of the prince of England. Now, I don't remember their names, but I do think that you should be picturing the two people who are actually the princes of England right now. And in this instance, it's the one that's married to Meghan Markle that would be the enemy of Alex. What tripped me up, though, was that Alex keeps talking about how he used to sneak into his sister's room to look at her gossip magazines that had pictures of him in it. And it's like, if you're doing that, then is he really your enemy? Because it kind of sounds like you want to kiss him. You know, I don't fully know what's going through Alex's head or what experiences he's had in life, but typically when I hate somebody, I don't go out of my way to gaze longingly at their photos. That could just be me. I don't know about you, but I am not a prince or the child of a president, which is why I pay very close attention to what is going in and out of my bank account. And today's sponsor makes that so much easier, Rocket Money. I am in continual shock at the amount of services that make me sign up for a subscription just to use it a single time. As a content creator, I cannot tell you how many streaming companies and services have made me sign up for a subscription. And it's smart on their part because I forget they exist, but that is what Rocket Money can help with. They're an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money will identify all of your subscriptions in one list. From there, you can select the ones that you no longer use, and they may even be able to help you cancel them with just a few taps. Because they want you to save money, the app lets you know where your money is going at all times. They identify top spending categories to help you stay within your budget better, and they notify you of upcoming charges or when your balance is low to help you avoid overdrafts. But maybe the best thing is they can even help you put money away. Rocket Money can analyze your accounts to let you know when is the optimal time to save to help you reach your goals faster. You choose your savings goal, pick the frequency at which you would like to save, and watch your savings grow. And don't worry, you can pause, edit, or withdraw at any time. Rocket Money can help you take control of your finances today. You can click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get started for free. Okay, so Henry's brother is getting married. If we're keeping with this metaphor, the guy getting married is the bald one. And once again, Henry is this one. And I kept sitting here and I'm thinking like, what the hell is this story possibly about? Because when you have the son of the president of the United States and then you have a prince to the throne, geography lesson for the people out there, those two places are not near each other. But I think that this story is going to happen over the course of like a wedding weekend or something because they're headed to Bald Guy's wedding. So Alex has to see the guy that he says he hates, even though he sneaks around to see his pictures. And that's it. That's how we get them around each other. And if my assumption is correct, they're going to get around each other at this wedding and they're going to fall in love and they're going to kiss. I like this Henry guy. What I don't know about Henry is if he's actually this British prim and proper guy, because Alex thinks it's a facade. He thinks that Henry is just faking it for the public eye and that he's actually kind of an asshole behind closed doors. And because posh British people kind of come off like assholes, I can't tell either. But I like him because he talks funny. They crashed the wedding cake. Alex and Henry got into a tussle and they just crashed the wedding cake. And I'm not sure what to think about this because I don't like awkward content. Meaning that stories are built off of drama, right? But if the most dramatic thing that you can do is something awkward for the people around it, I typically don't like that. And this is very awkward because these two people just crashed through a cake in the middle of a fight at the wedding of the Prince of England. And I just hope it's the only instance of that. Like, cringe awkwardness is just not my thing. I got my physical copy, and this is actually thicker than I thought it would be. We are clocking in at 440 pages. Did not think that that was what I was getting into when I picked up a silly little rom-com book. Another thing I have to apologize for is everything I said previously. I take it all back. This is forced proximity. There's nothing quite like it in the world. So Dum Dum 1 and 2, they crashed that cake at the wedding, right? And of course there's media there, there's hundreds of other people there because it is a giant wedding for the crown. These two now have to spend time together and pretend that they're best friends to resolve a potential international fiasco. I love this plot line because it is so real. Do you have any idea how often this happens in actual politics where they will stage a photo shoot or some party in order to show these two people being friendly with each other? Otherwise, there's going to be some rumors about, I don't know, nuclear war. That's not the stakes that are in this story, but it's actually very important in the real public eye for the US and the UK to have good international relations. And I love that a book is being written about that, amongst many other things. It is a gay romance, probably first and foremost, but the underlying politics are actually quite real. This book actually keeps throwing me off in the best way. You know, they had their little international weekend. Go save the international relationships between our two countries. Alex flew to Henry, so Alex spent time in the UK. I hope I'm using these terms the right way, by the way. England and the UK, that's the same place. Fucking hell, I'm gonna look dumb as... I'm gonna look real dumb if I'm wrong about that. On principle, I'm not going to Google it, but I should. But they had this great weekend, and they actually ended up in a broom closet together because the Secret Service thought that there were gunshots being fired, and there weren't, but they had to hide in a broom closet, and they kind of spooned, even though it wasn't romantic. But the thing that's throwing me off is that everything I've told you so far has happened in less than 100 pages. He went over there for the wedding, he came back. He went over there again for their little boys' weekend to pretend that they're best friends, and now he's back in the US again. I keep thinking that this book is going to be about one of these weekends and it's going to happen in a short period of time, but it isn't. And because Alex keeps going back to the US, my question becomes, how do they continue to spend time together? You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about California and Texas here. There is a literal ocean between these two people. An ocean, a big one too, by the way. Give me a second. Atlantic. Not going to Google that either on the same principle, but I'm pretty sure that it's the Atlantic Ocean. Don't be fooled by what I'm saying, though. This is a positive. I didn't want a one-and-done weekend, insta-love, all that kind of bullshit. They're being forced into situations that, quite frankly, seem very reasonable from a political standpoint, logistics standpoint, but I don't really understand how it continues unless this story unfolds over the course of like 5 years. Because that's a lot of travel. I forgot to tell you about this thing. This camera angle's fucked, by the way, but just deal with it. This is very funny. During this publicity stunt weekend, they went to a hospital to go like meet sick kids and stuff. And remember how I told you that Alex was curious if Henry was putting on a facade for the public? Alex is starting to learn that he doesn't really think that Henry is. And Alex noticed that Henry was talking to a little bald boy plugged full of tubes. That's a crazy way to talk about a kid with cancer. Maybe not the way I'm going to talk about kids with cancer in the future, but, you know, I'll file it away as a possibility. They're texting buddies now. That's how they stay in communication, is they just text all day long. I may have forgotten that phones existed. Side note, there's some really weird shit going on with the turkey right now. I don't think that people know that they're gay. I guess going into this, I assumed that everyone knew that both of them were gay. And this is actually kind of difficult to explain without you having read the book, but there are things that Alex notices about Henry where I'm sitting here going, I don't think that either of them know that the other one is gay. And that is quite the speed bump to be dealt with in a Gay love story. One of the best parts about stories where people are in the closet, which is an oxymoronic statement, all things considered. It's a terrible thing. I'm sorry you have to go through that. But it's getting to read about them tiptoeing into the deep end. They have a thing that they want. And they have a thing that if they can't tell other people about because they think that they'll be judged for it, which in many cases they will be. Again, horrible. But Henry clearly likes Alex, and Alex is not picking up what he's putting down. Alex definitively thinks that Henry is straight, which is a problem because Henry just kissed him. They were in this garden right after this party and they were talking about something. I wasn't really paying attention because I felt it. I felt what was about to happen, even though Alex didn't. And Henry looked at him and was like, "You're an idiot," and then kissed him right on the face. And I'm really happy about all this happening, but I'm also, once again, really confused because I'm only at the 25% mark of this story, which is fine. That's normally when some kissing happens in romance, but the pace at which this was going was glacial. Oh my God, it's been slow. They've really only been texting and talking on the phone. They don't see each other that much in person because, once again, Atlantic Ocean. And the Atlantic Ocean here is not just a literal thing between them. It is a metaphorical thing between them because enter politics. This book has started talking about the re-election campaign of Alex's mom, who once again, president of the United States. And Alex also has a political life that he's doing, and his dad has a political life. And this book has not been very forward about people being out of the closet. So although there are many progressive elements of it, this is one where I'm pretty sure the characters are going to have some major hurdles to overcome because the gay son of the president and the gay grandson of the queen being together, just this book has been very realistic up until this point. And if it continues to be so, then it is going to show how this would not go over well in the public eye. And that's what I'm nervous about. I want them to be together, but if there's one thing that romance taught me, it's that something has to go wrong, colossally wrong, before the author decides if they're even going to let them end up together. Happily ever after, keep this in mind, is not promised. Hold on. I'm actually jumping up and down. You're telling me that Alex didn't know that he was gay? I'm not talking about Henry. I mean, Alex didn't know that Alex was gay. He's currently contemplating if he's straight or not right now. And I'm like, buddy, I've only had like 150 pages with you and I know you're gay. I've never met you. You're not real. Like you live in your head and you don't know? I went and got the audiobook so that I could play something for you just to let you know how odd this is to me. The context here is that Alex is thinking through situations in his head that have happened in the past that signal to him like, oh, I'm not gay because of this. Here's what genius things he came up with.
Or his senior year when he got drunk and made out with Liam in his twin bed for an hour and he didn't have a sexual crisis about it. That was just how horny teenage best friends were sometimes. Like when they would get off at the same time watching porn in Liam's bedroom. Or that one time Liam reached over and Alex didn't stop him.
Yeah, man, you're right. Making out with your best friend, that's not gay. Letting your best friend tug you, that isn't gay. You were watching straight stuff. Wait. I think he's bi. Man, that makes a lot more sense. Probably why it was also difficult for him to figure it out. Fuck. It was funnier when I thought he was just gay. All right, as of now, the theory is that Alex is bi. But it is still kind of crazy to me that he never considered that he was attracted to men and that Henry is the first person that he has been. That was a shock to me. And you know, I'm kind of happy that I was there when he figured it out. I feel a part of the gang. Man, every single time with these books, I always push my luck and I just tell myself like one more chapter and then I'll go to bed. And the problem is that chapter always ends up being the one that breaks my heart. And this time it is the stuff that I was talking about earlier with their political lives and how it'll interact with their relationship. It's definitely going to head that direction and I don't want it. Alex not only has to grapple now with potentially liking his best friend, but now that he's accepted that he is bi, he's really thinking about that political career that he wants. And I cannot stress enough how well this situation is written. For multiple reasons, if he were to come out, it puts his career in jeopardy. And it puts his mom's career in jeopardy. And the reason why I love it from a storytelling perspective is because there are people out there who have to deal with this. People have to think, do I keep the status quo or do I rock the boat and tell people this thing that is integral to who I am? Or just deny it and push it down and keep going with the way that things currently are because you don't want to have to deal with that status quo change, which would never be easy. And really, this is on both ends of the spectrum. This isn't just about like coming out of the closet and being gay. If you were raised in a Christian family and you wanted to tell your parents like, I'm atheist now, you understand how much that rocks the boat? Changing the status quo of any kind is a world-altering thing for people and their families and their social circles. I've rambled about this for too long at this point, but the point is that the book is handling this extremely well. At this point, this book is not just like a fluffy rom-com to me. It is a wonderful political and social look at what it means, for lack of a better term, to rock the boat in your life. And I love it. I'm going to bed sad, but I love it. It's happening.
He needs a list. So, things he knows right now. 1. He's attracted to Henry. 2. He wants to kiss Henry again. 3. He has maybe wanted to kiss Henry for a while. As in, probably this whole time.
He wants to kiss Henry. He's maybe wanted to kiss Henry for a while. Oh, it always feels nice when we get to this point, right before everything goes wrong. Yeah, we're in what I'm going to call the snippety snap section of this book. Back and forth all day long. Things are great, things are bad, things are great, things are bad. Alex caught Henry kissing a girl in public. Difficult to say Alex caught Henry. The paparazzi caught Henry doing that. Alex, of course, saw the photos because he is also a part of the public. And he got real mad. Real mad. Which we love. I love jealousy when other people feel it. But then a state dinner happens and he confronts him and then they hook up. And now I think they're a thing. I think like they're officially together, but not publicly because I don't think they can be publicly together. But then his sister catches on, calls him out for it, for never telling her. And of course she knew because she's like, why is this guy sneaking into my room to see pictures of this dude for the past 10 years? So she knew that he was bi, but she was mad that Alex never told her. But here's the thing, and this is why we're in snippety snap season. He told his mom. Pause. That's the president of the United States, in case you weren't paying attention. He told the president of the United States, hey, by the way, I'm your son, I'm bi. And she's like, son, that's great. I will support you in anything. Really great positivity coming out of this. And then he goes, mom, hold on a second, please. You see, the reason I'm telling you is because I may be dating the Prince of England. And mom's gets very... Most of us, I think, have seen our parents make that face before. It's the one where it's like, I don't want to yell at you, but you know that I'm obligated to. My dad makes that face a lot. And I have 2 things to say about this. One is that there's probably a lot of positives about one of your parents being the president of the United States. You know, meet a lot of cool people, private planes, probably some great vacations. One of the not so great things would be having to tell your mom who you're sleeping with as an obligation to avoid an international incident. Because that was the only reason why Alex told her. And that brings up my second thing I have to say about this, which is that his mom brought up some really good points regarding that. And her point was basically that it doesn't matter that her son is bi or that it's the bi son of a president. The bigger point is that the first real relationship that he would have is with the Prince of England, because he would never be able to escape that. If it ever got out into the public, that would be his identity for the rest of his life. And the reason she brought that up was because she was saying that if Henry isn't his forever guy, if you don't see that you're going to marry this guy, you need to cut it off. And that's why we're in snip snap territory, because now everything's bad. A side note, now his dad knows. I would imagine that this book is a comfort read for people in the LGBT community, because every single person who a gay or bi person comes out to, they're all oozing positivity. Like everybody close to somebody who comes out of the closet takes it really well. And I'm sure that that is a wonderful change of pace. And with that being said, I am officially throwing up my red flag that the book is too happy. Not in general. I mean, the part of the story I'm in is too happy. Things are about to go negative. I don't want them to go negative. Yep, there it is. Henry's pulling away. They had this incredible weekend at the lake and they were talking about the future, and something about that triggered Henry, and he disappeared in the middle of the night, and now he's ghosting Alex. Every fucking time, I swear, every time a book gets too happy, this shit is the thing that's right around the corner. Oh, Alex is pissed though, and he's going after him. Good, as is his right. They broke up. Yeah, basically everything that I've talked about this entire time came to a forefront for Henry. He doesn't want what comes with this life, and I get it. You know, his argument is that Alex can leave the public eye. Like once his mom is out of office, Alex could go live whatever life he wants, but Henry is trapped as a royal for the rest of his. And that is why this book is so frustrating, is because it's actually really good. It's not just some stupid miscommunication trope. This is actually how it would go in real life, and that's why I'm torn. Because I want them to end up together, but I'm also sitting here going, both of them make some pretty good points. Some pretty good points that make me sad. I was just going to write it out. I was going to write it out until the end, and then I was like, I'll update them at the end after they get back together and everything's all hunky-dory. Wrong. I was wrong. You see, this book has a couple more twists to throw my way. They basically sort of kind of got back together because when you actually love somebody, you can't just walk away on the pretense of like, this is difficult, right? Like I knew they were going to get back together. In fact, I thought that this book was going to be a happily ever after. You see, and the public started to think that they were together. So they staged a date for Alex to go out in public with a girl because Henry's been seen in public with girls before. And they were like, this will throw them off their scent. So he does that. And it hurts both of them. It hurt me, actually, if we're going to call this a menage a trois, which we should. I am involved. And it worked. It worked for a little bit. For a little bit. You see, Alex, he couldn't keep his grubby little hands to himself, so he kisses Henry in the back of a car, and then you know what happens next? That's right, they made a baby. Just kidding. Photos were leaked to the paparazzi, and now the whole world knows that Alex and Henry are together. The number one thing that we have been trying to keep a secret this entire time. Here's the other thing, though, and I think that this is the part that I'm going to get a little bit of flack for. In the process of these photos coming out, their emails were also leaked. And I can't tell you what was in those emails because this video would 1,000,000% get demonetized. But I'll tell you this right now. It was a whole lot worse than earlier when I was talking about Bleach and Hole. Very intimate emails that the public now has control of. But the thing that I think I'm going to get flack for is that I don't care about this storyline that they're trying to build. And it is a political storyline that like somebody is leaking these emails to try and hurt his mother's campaign. And I can't reconcile this because I've talked up about how good this book is with all of these political and international aspects. But for some reason, this particular section, I just don't care about. I think that we're in a phase of the book that should solely be focused on the relationship, and to try and tie it back in with this political stuff this late in the game, I'm uninterested in that. So that's a personal preference. I'm not calling it bad writing. I only want to know what is going to happen with Alex and Henry. I don't give a fuck about anything else. There have been so many times throughout the story where I have damn near cried my eyes out, and the ending of this book has been no exception. He's got a really good mom. With this scandal coming out, his mom's political career is most likely dead, or at the very least severely injured. Damage control people are scattering left and right. You have the election right around the corner, and the mom's only concern, the president of the United States' only concern is, how is her son doing? Oh, and then it continues. And the mom's second question beyond if her son was all right was, do you love him? Does Alex love Henry? And Alex says yes. So once again, really good mom. She's like, well then, whatever you want to do, I'm here for it. And there's just something about a parent backing a child in a story that just warms my soul. I don't have parental issues, by the way, but I got two wonderful parents. So this isn't even like a dark spot on my resume. I love my parents to death, and this still kills me. Henry's brother, however, is a little bitch, and I bet he touches kids like that guy in actual England does. This one. While we're at it, the queen can suck a dick as well. These people just have such bad attitudes towards people wanting to be happy. I wonder if the writer of this book actually took from like real life royals, because so much of this seems to be an overlap. The queen and the royal family are such fucking bitches. Just let a man be happy. And that is a statement about her grandson, but it's also a statement about me. I might die of happiness. Alex made a speech to the entire world defending the relationship with Henry. And I say defending because it has been a public shit show for the past couple weeks in their life. Just getting trampled through the media. And if what everybody craves for in life is a declaration of love from somebody else, could you imagine being Henry? Not only did you get said declaration of love from the person that you want to be with, you got it from the son of the President of the United States on national television. If I ever get married, I better get real creative because I don't feel like that's an option for me. I'm done, and I've been sitting here trying to figure out how to rate this book because I'm not going to lie to you. Going into this, I did not have high expectations. Just look at the cover of it. I am not the peak demographic for this. I have a Red Rising poster over my shoulder. And regardless of what it may sometimes seem like, I am straight. But holy shit, did this take me for a ride. Most of those thoughts are things that you have watched through this video. There is one thing that I held back because it happened here at the end. And I'm going to talk about that first because it is the only negative that I have of this, which is that the last clip that you saw was me talking about how Alex and Henry got back together and addressed the nation and kind of like everything sounds great. The book went on for another 30 to 40 pages because there were so many other plot lines that still needed to be addressed. Who leaked all of the emails? Is his mom going to win the election? How to handle things with Henry's family? Where are they going to live in the long run? And I don't want to say that any of it isn't necessary, but I do think that some of it could have happened in a little bit different of an order so that when the peak of the book happens, you already have some of this stuff resolved. Because as I said earlier, I think that the real crux of this book is the relationship between these two people. And the politics fuel a lot of the drama between them, which was beautiful. I loved that. But when you solve the relationship aspect and you tell the audience, hey, these two are going to be together, well, I kind of stopped caring about the other stuff. So it was necessary to the story. I just didn't like that all of that got resolved after they ended up together. Because I'm sitting here, I'm giddy about them being able to like pick which brownstone they're going to live in New York City. And the book is trying to tell me about how many electoral votes are in the state of Kentucky. That's really useful information come November 2028. Currently, I don't really give a shit. Good news though, the mom did win the election. But like I said, that ordering of events was really my only negative about this. I loved the relationship between these two people. All of the people in the book felt real. The politics, while a little exaggerated at times, very realistic to how things would actually be handled in our real world. International relations between governments are extremely fickle things. And to be able to navigate both the intricacies of the social climate around not just parts of the LGBT community, but also how Mexican Americans interact with our political system, foreign affairs, multiple political crises, the shitheads that are known as the royal family. Like, this book covered a lot of topics, and I think it did all of them with a fair amount of realism and grace, while maintaining being extremely entertaining. When making these videos, I know that I need to be able to read during times where I have a certain amount of energy to be able to pick up the camera and talk about what's happening in the book. And doing this YouTube series, when I have books that I want to be able to read at all times, but I can't because I can't film at all times, that is when you know it's a good one. When I have to put the book down even though I want to continue reading. This book is that. I'm going to shock myself a little bit here because I have been known as a rather harsh reviewer, particularly in my star rating systems. I think that a 5-star is a perfect book, no notes. It isn't like oh, the vibes were good. I'm not that guy. I'm not really a vibes reader. So understanding that I'm not a vibes reader and you need to nail down the technical aspects of writing in order to kind of impress me, I'm giving this 4 stars. If you had asked me when I started this what I thought it would be rated just based on the concept and the cover, I would have gone like 3.25 at best. 4 stars. 8 out of 10. The only reason I'd say that it's not for everybody is because if you're not highly into romance, I wouldn't read this. This isn't a politics first book. It is a relationship first book, but it does many things well. And I am so glad I read it. And I'm even more excited for the movie. Being able to watch a movie when the book was actually good is like, nom, 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 nom. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I hope you did too. And I will see you in 2 weeks for the movie.